Hello everybody, welcome to Feldy, map by Farmer Yip for Farming Simulator 11. It's a little bit dark on here. We're kind of on the eastern side of a hill as the sun is going down of a very steep hill, I might add. And we're doing a little groundwork, and looks like we'll have to come back here and clean up just a little piece of that, but I'm gonna let him go. Let's see if he can turn through the air. It's going to scratch our tractor up a little bit going through the hedge. But that's all right. He'll make do. So while he is going, we have another gentleman in the field busily cutting our peas. And he's now on his third time around. And we're looking forward to making some bales out of this. We could also use this as feed stuff for our sheep, but I think we're going to just treat it as bales. I was hoping to use some of the red clover over there as feed stuff, and you know, the reality is we may just turn it all into bales by the time we actually get the stuff up there to give to our sheep. You know, we just need the proper equipment, and maybe if we turn it all into bales, we will have time for it to regrow and have something to cut. Anyway, I'm going to go back over here, not there, kind of move some things around. You know, we just cut our pasture over here, so we got all this grass laying down, and I was just going to take my good old trusty baler. I wasn't going to touch it with the tedder because we know we can straight cut red clover and the peas, and we can turn them immediately into bales. So why not? Oh my goodness, let's try to climb the fence. Why don't we? There must be a collision in there or something that I'm not aware of. Oh, well, I seem to have an affinity for hard objects here at the moment. Okay. We'll get through here and try to get this out. We, as everybody knows, we don't have to ted the peas or the red clover, so why should we have to ted the grass? Let's see, sat down. There we go. So I'm just going to give this a try, and we will see if I can turn this, and it's letting me turn it into bales. We'll just come along here to clip and see how many of them we can spit out. And we'll see if it proves the theory that I've suggested to where, yeah, it already is looking good, that we popped out a bale. That it isn't, that the material handling back in this era of farming sim was so different, you know, to where it's basically painted on the ground. So if the more windrow you have, more windrows, if you will, to go through, the more bales you're going to get, you know, which of course in real life, if we were to accumulate all of this together and make it one big huge windrow, well, we'd obviously get hopefully the same number of bales from it as we would get if we did all these smaller windrows individually. And that is nice that in later versions of the game, they allowed more for this, so you could accumulate them and save a little time for yourself by putting them together, and you weren't penalized with the number of bales that you ultimately were able to get. But kind of in this version here, I believe you are. You know, this is a similar area in size to what we had kind of maybe up on this hill. You can kind of see it up here. It's flat out here, which of course is a wonderful advantage, you know, for doing any kind of farming activity. But I would bet dollars to donuts we are going to get more bales from this area down here than we got kind of up on the hill. And it's all because we have fewer windrows. And someone who remembers, you know, I'd be interested in knowing, in the base game, did the Giants let you bale up grass without forcing you to tether it first? For some reason, I thought you had to run the tether over it before that you do just bales. You know, and I know you could set up, you could get a mod maybe. I'm thinking of Farm Sim 15, I guess, when I say that. I spent a fair amount of time on that version. And I seem to recall that I had to have a special mod in order to bale grass, freshly cut. Otherwise, I had to do it the conventional way. You cut it and you ted it and windrow it and then bale it. But here, this is straight behind the mower, straight behind the cutter. So for some reason, I thought, I guess in the original version of the game, that they wouldn't let you do that. But so then it makes me wonder if maybe Farmer Yip had his friend Dr. Hilty put in some scripting or whatever that enabled straight grass bales. Don't know. And maybe nobody cares. Haven't studied all of the scripts that came with the map. And there definitely were a few. Let me see here. We're almost done with 2 rounds. Let me see if we can tell by the time we get back here how many bales. Alright, we just pooped out another one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Am I counting right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 bales. That's like 2 pads on this thing. Yeah, we are definitely going to make more hay down here than we made up there. And now knowing this, I'm wondering if I even need the tedder. Of course, it could be that when I go to feed it could be that when I feed beef eventually in a mission or maybe for some other things, maybe I genuinely will need hay. But if it's just going to be in the form of a bale, it may not matter because I don't know that it can detect what kind of material is sitting in the bale. The newer versions of Farm Sim could, but I don't know that this older one could. You know, a bale is a bale is a bale. In terms of value, you know, straw bale is the same worth as premium pea hay, if you will. Only disadvantages on these tight little windrows right here, trying to get around some of the corners. Maybe your fingers are more dexterous than mine. Let me see here. Oh yeah, look how straight that hill is over there. I'm gonna have to do a bunch of touch-up with the tractor. It is just so miserable steep. The hired help isn't able. No, I don't know what's able to do or not. Ooh, that's too fast. We'll just keep here happily making bales till we have to go take care of it. And even though we're making more here than we did up on the hill, it's still not amounting to all that much, which is, like I say, kind of disappointing because I think that thing will hold 48 bales, and by the time I get it over there to sell them, it's what is it, $9,600? And it isn't even $10,000. So, like I say, I need every bale I can get, and I'll just take what I can get. But maybe some of you watching this are saying we're making money the hard way. And I'm just trying to go through all the fields and take care of them all and try to have some semblance of a season in here, even though this was long before the seasons mod existed. I never played it that way back when, you know, in the days of just playing Farm Sim 09 and 11 and didn't have some of the newer versions. My tendency was, because I enjoyed harvesting, I think, the most, was as soon as I got done harvesting, I immediately tilled the field up and dragged a planter in there right behind the combine and would replant it. So typically, there was always constant harvest going on because something was always growing. And I don't know, get to Farm Sim 17 and see how the seasons pod works, and it just makes it feel quite a bit more realistic in terms of how it really happens on a farm. So I'm basically going to do that by reducing all the fields to dirt, with the exception of grass fields, kind of like this one and the one up on the hill, or anything that's going to regrow. We're not going to disturb those. But anything that is a cereal grain or some of the root crops or whatever, we'll definitely till those up, reduce them to dirt, and get everything all ready. And then we'll have at some point, oh, I missed that. I'll just go back. At some point, we will then plant all of those fields, and that will be kind of our fall or spring, depending on how we look at it, planting season. How's it coming up on this hill? Oh, he's getting down there. And there's those streaks coming east and west on the hill that he isn't getting to. We're going to have to tend to those as well. And I've temporarily reinstalled the field detection mod, if you will, for cultivators, versus, I know another approach would be to just purchase a plow. I don't really have the money at the moment, or don't want to take the money rather to do it, so we'll just reinstall that mod and have it in here long enough to take care of those little bits, and we'll handle it that way. And when I say take care of those little bits, it'll be to get rid of those streaks and reduce them to dirt so that they can also be planted in the future to crop. And I think this time it did have crop over it, but that's only because it was put there in the Giants editor, and we wouldn't be able to replant quite the same way. Yeah, I'm just looking at my bale count. Let me see here. Alright, I got 19 bales. Still isn't as good as what I hoped, but it is what it is. Oh, remind me of this spasmodic thing. This is where if you're able to windrow it into nice, straight windrows, it can be pretty helpful. But oh well, it is what it is. We'll go back and pick it all up because every little bit is important. And this is going to look a little bit different down in here. We've kind of denuded the pastures, so good thing we don't have any cattle here at the moment, except, well, we got that static one over there. Not sure what he's doing here, but I assume if we purchase cattle, we are going to see the animated ones roaming the pasture out here. But honestly, I really don't know. I never got that far when I played this originally and put time in it with my two sons to kind of explore the map. Never did purchase cows, and never did what I'm doing now, that's for sure, in terms of cutting the pasture. Always wanted to, though. And the other one, I was looking at my old save game. I think I had, it was almost 90 hours into it between me and my two boys when we were playing it. And I have far fewer hours into it now, but it sure feels like I've explored more of the map, done more things in here than I ever did in the other one. And I think what I was doing in the other one is I was focusing on the southern end of the map and growing canola and corn, and I was trying to manufacture biofuel. And I think I started growing potatoes down there too for cash crop. And so, yeah, it was constantly generating money, generating the stuff that I needed. So I don't know how I did it. Somehow I was able to purchase the equipment that I needed much quicker than what I'm doing now. Shoot, maybe I was just playing on easy mode. I really don't know. see. Will it let me see up there? No. Yeah, my guy down there doing the peas is just far enough away. Let me check here something. Oh, it does show. Okay, there he is. Field number 2. He's down there working away. So that's pretty good. I can keep an eye on him while I'm up here making some bales. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's 23 bales. There's no way I had that many bales up there on the hill. This at 4 bales per pad, that would be 6 pads, and I think I only added. Yes, if you look at the machine over here, there's only a couple pads that were added. So, note to self: if you don't have to windrow or accumulate rows on this game, then don't do it. I imagine the same effect would happen if someone were to windrow the straw from behind the harvester. You know, if you put a couple of those together, you would end up with fewer bales than doing it the way we've been doing it, just running the baler down every single path behind the combine. There's another bale, we're up to 25. Maybe this won't be so bad. It's just in a similar sized area. You know, if we had grain in here, barley or wheat, we would have far more bales, I think, of straw. But I need to quit complaining about that. We're getting the job done. Probably by the time I'm done here, is he still... And looks like his cultivator turned off. I'll tell you what, we'll get this finished here. And then I'm going to go tend to our cultivator. And this is minus the tedder. So that's one less field operation. And you know, I don't mind the tedding. Frankly, having more to do in the field is something they've genuinely improved on. It took a little while to get to it, you know, especially as you get to 19 and 22 now. There's a whole lot more options, you know, in the field for what you're able to do. You know, just with spraying. You know, eventually they added more times fertilization were needed. You know, you finally had a purpose for the plow instead of just, you know, a choice between the cultivator and the plow. Actually, I wouldn't try to get too far. Unless I just drop off the baler up here. That's what I'll do. I'll just haul it up here and drop it off. And now, even in 22, I think there's rocks you can pick up. So, I mean, it's pretty cool that they have additional field operations that they didn't have. But not having to do the tedding, I think that's helpful in my case. It'll hopefully get me quicker to turning these bales, you know, into a little money. All right, I wonder if I can park this down. I'm gonna have to deal with these sugar beets too. The thing about the sugar beets is it came with 4 fields of the stuff. And I wish they'd had, you know, in one field of potatoes. I wish it had been reversed, you know, where they had 4 fields of potatoes and 1 of sugar beets. You know, these sugar beets I think are going to be useful once we get to beef, cattle maybe, or maybe not the beef, maybe it's the pigs. But I'm not going to have pigs for a little while, so I don't really need the sugar beets, but I kind of feel compelled to harvest them. I mean, I could at least put them in storage. And initially I was thinking you could sell them as a cash crop. Well, scrap that idea. I was sorely mistaken on that. So, but we've got bales now. So I'm going to go park this over, I think, by the bale. Oh, well, I can't even do that. I'm going to just park it right here. And I'm going to go over here and rescue... Oh, is he just stopped? I think he's a little confuzzled on what he's trying to do here. What are you doing? Are you stuck on the tree, dude? Oh, for goodness sakes. Check the... Oh! Wow, wow, wow. You really... Alright, let me pick that back up. And... You know, it's interesting. When you drop it, I'm learning... You'll see up there numpad percentage, turn on field detection. I think that is, if you unhook, it reverts back to the others. Oops. Yeah, there you go. Turn on. Well, wait a minute. No? Yes, I gotta turn on field detection. I just can't forget to do that, or I'm gonna have little bits on my field messing things up. Alright, I'm gonna need this tractor. By all rights, I probably should go get something like a tow bar. I don't think I have a tow bar. Don't look, anybody. I just went through a fence because I think I need to ram this thing. But I don't know if these... Can I drive through these? Oh, I can. But I do know that tree is a hard object. Now that probably wasn't very good idea. Now I just got my other tractor. Oh, hey. There we go. Can we flop it all off of here at once? Alright, there. Maybe I can pull it out this way. If I ram it back from here. Oh, yeah. Going backwards at a tremendous speed. Come on. You know, someone left a comment in one of the videos basically suggesting a reset of a particular piece of equipment, and well, maybe it was a private message, I don't remember what it was, and what I had to tell him was, you know, in these days we didn't have a reset quite like we had it in later versions, you know, where you could pick a certain machine and say reset this machine to a safe place. Oh, I'm so thankful we were able to get that off. No. When you did it back here in Farm Sim 11, it was a much worse ordeal because it reset everything. And I think on this one here, it would reset it clear over. It was on the southern part of the map. Yeah, you can't even see it on here, but literally everything would show up in there. And I tried it a time or two. Well, once on here, I remember, you know, back in the day, for some reason I did it. And I guess in those days you were just used to that, you know, when you did a reset, it would reset everybody. And then wherever your stuff was previously, it might have been just sitting in a shed, it might have been out in a field. Well, then you had to drive it from that area. That there wasn't a teleport mod, you know, that I'm aware of, so you had to manually drive it all the way back to wherever you had it. It was really a pain. I know there was one map that I did where they reset all the equipment into a building of all places. And talk about a snarled up mess. I remember trying that, and it wedged it in there so tight. It's like, this is worthless ever trying to reset because, well, just it was really painful to try to, you know, get it out of there. So here you wouldn't quite have that pain. Oh, we're getting quite dark in here, folks. And I guess it's 7:41 is the time. You know, here's something I can't remember. I seem to recall there was something on top here that maybe I had to come clean up. And I can't remember if I put it in there or if Farmer Yip put it in there when he made the map. But I know one point when I was working on the map, making some modifications to it, I noticed the presence of a second sun. And this, the sun, obviously that's the light in game, that helps us see everything. And right now the sun is setting, so we're not able to see here as well as we'd like. But there was a second sun. In other words, it's a large light, and you have a couple different kinds of lights you can put in a farming sim map. There's the big one that's for the sun. I think it's called a directional type light, if you will. And it's designed to be big and extend a long direction. Then there's a spotlight, which I think is something like a headlight, where it'll cast a little bit of light for a certain distance, and that is all. And it seems like there's a third kind. Maybe it's a little pinprick of light, a little tiny one. I don't remember exactly. All I know is I think that there is 3 kinds of light. Alright, we're going to take out this. This here is something you'll just see here. I can't cultivate it out. It's something, it was maybe a mistake. Farming didn't make mistakes. So I'm not going to call it that. But we are now going to use our, turn on field detection. I think, I'm toggling it there. So let's just go over the top of this. It's going to treat it as if it's a plow. And we're done. So I'm going to take that back out. There we go. Hey, I'm pleased. We got rid of that streak. We're in the process. We got one other streak to get rid of. Kind of this one up here. We'll do it in the same way. And we'll get this field knocked out. I think we're back to regular field detection. So let's see if I can sneak up here. And it's dark in here, and I don't like it when it's dark when I'm trying to work, and I'm kind of complaining about that. And I believe it has something to do with the east-west orientation of this map, if you will, with the structure of the hills. We got some tall hills on either side of the map, and I think that impacts or blocks the light, if you will. It somehow the game picks that up. So I either put that sun back. Oh yeah, I was describing the sun. So I found a second sun, but it was under the map, kind of right under the wheat field on just above the farm, back on the main farmstead, not the store, but the main farmstead. And I've since wondered, I deleted it out of there, but I wondered if it was in there just to cast enough extra light so you can kind of see what you're doing, because, well, right now, when you're kind of on the east side of a hill, when the sun's going down, it's gonna be dark, kind of like we're seeing in here, so... just one of those things. Well, so maybe I should go put the second sun in there, and you say, well, what good would a sun do that's under the map? Well, not that much, but it's pretty handy here. I just turned off, off field detection. I'm going to take care of this strip. But it may add just enough that it creates enough ambient light, because it would show up kind of below the map and might be just enough that you could see a little better what you're doing. And the other impact that may be happening is right now I also have I forget what it's called, a real night mod, more realistic night, where it's going to be darker. And so maybe that's part of what's going on too, but it's only 6:46 in the evening, so I don't know. Maybe that started making it dark out. Let me turn around here. And now this field here, I don't know what I'm gonna do. See field number 12? It kind of loops around this big old rock, and I don't know how to just do it easily. So, you know what? Maybe I'm gonna let him sit here for now. I'm gonna hop over to our... Oh, okay, well, we'll check him out. All right, so he's getting this field done. There's the bell. Thank you, Eustace Farmer. So he's almost done with the field here, and so next time we'll be able to pull in here with a baler and continue working on this. And speaking of, oh, I seem to be going the wrong way through. Here we go. Speaking of baler, I'm just going to head on out to the field and get a few more of these picked up. How many do I have? I got 21. So, okay, let me get through this here. I don't know if these have... No, I don't want to. Oh, for goodness sakes. Oh! Oh, bummer. There is a collision on here. Okay, folks, we have to fix this. I don't want to be hung up on this post. And I don't know how I'm going to get off of there. I can beat on it with the other tractor until it gets off of there, maybe. But maybe what I need to do is just pause here and terminate the episode and go into the map and see if I can figure out these silly collisions that are kind of tying me up here. Kind of catches you off guard because I know this fence doesn't have any collisions. But for the moment, thank you so much for coming along for the ride, and I will see you on the next one. Goodbye for now.